Hi, I'm Tristan Enright. I am your success coach, and I'm here to talk to you today about a topic that I am very grateful to be able to discuss with you, and it's a topic that's very important to my heart. The book that I've written, it's called Lose 20 Kilos in 20 Minutes, and whilst it's a cheeky title, the reason I wrote it is because in a split second and a blink of an eye, we can make a decision that shifts our life forever, that shifts the way we think and the way we feel and the way we see things. And really, within 20 minutes of listening to this audio or of finishing this book, you can start to answer the questions and fill in the workbook. And it will take you around 20 minutes and you will have such a different clarity. You'll have a new perspective on the way that you view your life and the way that you've viewed some choices that you've made. And you'll be a lot clearer about where your values lie and what's important to your life, and then how to link your fitness and health gains and your physical transformations to that, so that then you start behaving differently. And the choices that you made in the past, or that you didn't make because they were hard, will now become a lot easier to make because you're clear about why. So I guess that's a little bit of a background about why I wrote this. And as a personal trainer in the fitness industry, I'm always seeing people who are coming up to me with weight issues. And I think the biggest thing to acknowledge is the mindset that has led them to create that physical body. So if we can first appreciate the mind and what it's led us to, then we can appreciate the actions and change them. And too often we go backwards. We start with the physical body, and then people present with fear, frustration, anger, anxiety, and they just quit or give up on their goals. And who's given up on their goals before, or set a New Year's resolution and not followed through with it? So getting clear on what's really important to you and why is a huge thing that this book will really uncover. So as we go through the book, you'll get to chapter 1 after the little introduction. And chapter 1 is all about deciding that the ball is in your court. Because as a tennis player, the ball was always in your court. Just like a golfer, the ball sits on the tee and you have the power or the control to step up to that ball, to give it your best focus, and to drive that ball, to choose the right club and to hit it where you want. I think in life we forget that we have control and we need to make our decisions around what we want and what's best for our life. So chapter 1 is just deciding that the ball is in your court and that you have control of that. And deciding that, yes, you need to lose 20 kilos and why that is important to you. So that's chapter 1, and it's just about getting some commitment and some accountability from you that's really going to drive you forwards. But that will only take you so far. And in chapter 2, we talk about what's going to move you and what's going to keep you going. So chapter 2 is about finding your drive. Oftentimes we're really good at being motivated by pain. So we know what frustrates us. It's hard to get out of bed. I have no energy. I'm sick all the time, or I'm tired. I'm unhappy and I'm unmotivated. My bowels are slow. My guts always feels terrible. I hate myself. I can't look in the mirror. I can't go shopping anymore. Buying clothes is frustrating. I don't like going out in public. I feel self-conscious when I talk to people. These are some of the ideas that get thrown at me. It's hard to get in and out of the truck. Sleeping at night's uncomfortable. Making love with my partner's awkward. All of these sorts of things come into play. And getting clear on what those things are and allowing them to drive you is huge. It moves you away from where you're at. But it only gets you so far. So it's really important, and we get clear on those things, and it's really important that we're also driven by pleasure. So sometimes we need to tap into the pleasure of what it's going to be like. And in a good little book called Who Moved My Cheese, one of the little people, he was trying to save his friend and actually guide him through this maze so that he wouldn't starve to death. and he was helping him with his mindset. So along the way, he would write notes and lessons on the walls to try and guide his friend through the maze and to keep him positive and looking for the cheese. And one of the lessons that he learned was the more you visualized enjoying the cheese, the more cheese you found. And this is really true of people that are looking to move towards weight loss. It's really important that you're inspired by the changes that are ahead of you. Because it's very easy to be frustrated that you can't eat chocolate and that you've got headaches and that you can't eat certain things that other people around you are eating effortlessly. It doesn't make them put on weight. It doesn't make them have those same symptoms. But with you, because you're a fat storer and you've created this, whether intentionally or unintentionally, doesn't mean you're a bad person. But your body is storing fat, and it's important to realize that you need to abstain from that. But you don't want to feel like you're missing out. So you need to know the pleasure of what it's going to feel like once you have changed. And getting clear on that is such a huge thing. So moving towards the pleasure. How's it going to feel in 5 years? How's it going to affect the people around me? How's it going to impact my kids? What are all the things that I'm going to be able to do and be? And how am I going to feel about myself? What are all the great conversations I'm going to have? And what will I learn? Who will I talk to because I have that extra courage? And how will that affect my relationship? And just really getting clear on all those pleasurable things so that you move towards that cheese. And chapter 3 is about labeling. It's about identifying the labels that you've held onto as a child right through and into your adulthood. Labels that you've picked up in later years, and just generally labels that serve you poorly and the ones that have served you to be successful. So we all have success and we all have chaos and disorder. We all have areas in our life that we're happy with and areas that we don't give that much attention. And it's important that we notice the areas that are going well and why they're going well. And oftentimes it's the labels we create. And from a very young age, kids are labelled with names. They got parents, they got uncles, they got aunties. People have labels, but also we get negative labels like Johnny the fat kid, or Sarah was no good at maths. And all of a sudden you're the one that sucked at maths, or you're the middle child that was never loved. Or, you're the unsporty one, or dad doesn't eat vegetables on the weekend, and all of a sudden you're the junk food kid. Or you're the guy that always has Mars bars every single day. And you get significance, and people love that about you, and they laugh about it with you, and all of a sudden you're the Mars bar guy. And if you don't have a Mars bar, you feel like a piece of you is missing. And that's a crazy idea, but this is how big labels are. So getting clear on what labels serve you, what labels you've hung on to that actually serve you and have created a level of success in your life, but also the ones that don't serve you, and then trying to create some new labels that will move you away from that. So that's chapter 3. And this is deep stuff. If you're not ready to delve into your mindset and to look a bit closer about why you do what you do, then this isn't for you. But if you're fed up and you've had enough and you keep self-sabotaging everything that you try to do and you're not making progress, and every time you try to do something new, it fails or you fail, and then you go back into your old habits, then it's time to start looking into your mind and getting a little bit deep on this stuff, and getting inside your psyche is huge. It's everything. Chapter 4 is about creating new meanings. So it's about noticing the meanings that you create in situations and creating new ones that empower you and serve you. So like we did with our labels and our ideas about ourselves and who we are, we need to create meanings around the situations that happen in our life. Because as you go through day to day, you're going to find that sometimes there's going to be days where this is easy, and sometimes there's going to be situations that are really tough. And going to a wedding or going to a function where there's chocolate and cakes and puddings and savories and bread and dips and all these different things, are you going to go in creating a meaning that you are depriving yourself, or that you feel starved, or that you're unlucky, or that you're unfortunate, or that if you didn't have a fat mother, or if you weren't Italian, they wouldn't have cooked so much pasta and you wouldn't have eaten like this. And now you're just doomed, and you've got all this great food and everybody expects you to eat. Oh, you need more food, you're hungry, eat. and you've got all this and you're using it to blame other people, then that is a meaning that you're creating around yourself that isn't serving you. But if you go to that same party or that same function and you decide that you're going to use this as a demonstration of your commitment to yourself. Hi, we're back in chapter 3 and we're just talking about going to this party and deciding that we're going to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate your commitment to yourself. There's all this beautiful food everywhere and people are telling you, just eat it, it's going to be okay, it's just one night, it's not going to affect you. And you decide that your meaning around this is it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to challenge yourself, to show some restraint, okay, to execute some commitment to yourself that you are only going to choose the best quality of foods and you're going to choose the best options that are healthy. You're going to avoid all the sugars. You're not going to have soft drink or alcohol. And you're going to just wipe this off as one night of your life where you make a change, where the old habits and the old ways are in the past. You use it as a challenge to still be yourself and still be just as enthusiastic and just as fun and just as enjoyable. You still get out there and you still dance. You still converse with people. And instead of being awkward and hiding behind your drink or your piece of cake, you open yourself to the possibility of new conversations with new people. Wouldn't that be a different meaning? Wouldn't that challenge you to grow and move you to becoming a better person? I suggest it would. And that is the power of creating positive meanings, creating empowering meanings. And every day you're going to come across challenges, and the meanings that you attach to them will impact the results and the way you think and the way you act in the future. So really creating the meanings is one of the biggest things you can do. And this book is it is a start, but it is just about everything you need to change your mind and start behaving in ways that will get you the results that you desire. Decide what you want, find your drive, find what you're moving away from and find what you're moving towards, and see it as clearly and as enthusiastically as you can. And then get rid of the labels that don't serve you anymore and stop creating meanings for events and for things that happened that, make you feel shitty, make you feel stuck. Create meanings that empower you. You'll do that in chapter 4. And then we'll tie it all together with a couple of stories, and I'll give you the book, and that will have some success pictures of some of my clients that have really taken to these strategies and they've used this in their life to create the sort of change that you're looking for. And then what I'm going to throw in with it, with anyone who buys, and I'm sure you'll get some great value out of it, is my One Life training manual. And it's everything that you need, and it's the way that we do what we do. It's called the One Life Training Manual. Sorry for taking my eyes off you. It's not because you're not good looking. So there's a empowering meaning for you. But that's the One Life Training Manual. And it has everything from your how to warm up and some rules and some ideas about just training safely, being hydrated, wearing the right equipment, getting in a good mindset and setting yourself up for success. And then it talks about dynamic stretching versus PNF stretching versus, static stretching, and when to use them and how to use them. Because who here stretches? I don't know that many people do. I certainly do, and I encourage that my clients do. But did you know that there was also different types of stretching and different times where they work best and where they don't work at all? So we cover that a little bit in this book and just give you an introduction to it so that it's not complex, it's not confronting, it's just a new idea for you and it allows you to learn and apply it. And then we go into, in the coming chapters, we go into our use of kettlebells. Kettlebells is one of our tools that we use to get people to lift, to move their bodies fast, powerfully, and also to just build technique on some of the major movements like squatting, deadlifting, sumo high pulls, and really just maximizing our body's potential in the way we use it. So after we've gone through that, we get into jumping exercises, medicine ball exercises, body weight exercises. I mean, there's heaps of stuff in here. It's fantastic. It's everything that we've done in our boot camps